Why do we experience psychological suffering? The reason lies in our tendency to identify our sense of self with specific objects or concepts. Simply put, we define ourselves as a particular entity and become emotionally swayed by events or outcomes related to that identity. For instance, let's assume I associate my identity with being Korean. If Korea loses a soccer match to Japan, I might feel immense disappointment and even depression. However, if I regard being Korean merely as a practical tool like a social certification, the outcome of such events would not affect me as much. Much of our unhappiness stems from tying our identity to external factors such as our profession, family, nation, wealth, or body. When we become strongly attached to these things, we suffer psychologically when they are impacted. So how can we free ourselves from such identifications and find the true self? This process, while profound, can be surprisingly simple. When we face an event that causes psychological harm, the key is to stay present and observe it without judgment. By consciously observing the emotions or physical reactions that arise in such moments, we begin to realize the separation between ourselves and our identities. While I am the subject experiencing emotions, the emotions themselves are not me. Similarly, external aspects like profession, family, nation, wealth, and body are ever-changing objects, fundamentally different from the unchanging self. Through this observation, we come to understand that the unchanging self is distinct from everything that is transient. The self is the center of observation, and everything else is impermanent, and thus cannot be equated with the self. This realization grants us profound freedom. We are no longer vulnerable to external events or circumstances. Do not fear the inevitable disasters and suffering in life. Instead, view such events as opportunities to awaken to true freedom and happiness. Awaken through the challenges and pains, and observe everything with clarity. By doing so, you will clearly distinguish the true self from all external elements. This separation allows us to live as free beings, untouched by any situation. Isn't this the essence of true happiness?